We list the conjunction na and. To list two or more people or things, study the examples. This is what my mother and father taught me. Ina na ate hechel unspema kiapi. Tom and Ben and me and Mabel, those of us went. Tom na Ben na mie na Mabel hena uyampi. When the nouns in the list are followed by gi, wan, or ea, we use edna rather than na. We do this because we normally cannot place an article directly before na. Study the examples. I bought a chair and a table. Oakanke wan edna waglutapi wan o prewatru. I bought the chair and the table. Oakanke gin edna waglutapi gin o prewatru. We can use plural demonstratives, hena, henakecha, henaus, etc. after the last noun in the list. The plural demonstrative always refers to all of the nouns in the list. Study the examples. He gave me the bow and the shield and a club. Itazipa ki enna, wahachanka ki enna, chachbi wan, hena, maku. He took his gun and his 6-shooter. Maza wakhan wan enna ishakbe wan henaus ikikchu. My mother and my older brother lived there. Ina waekin enna tiblowayekin hel tipi. He took a shield and an iron hatchet. Wahachanka wan enna masihuni chatcha. Oh, here. Mas ihuni chatcha wan ichu. The young man and the young woman will marry each other. Koshkalaka ki anna we koshkalaka ki chiuza pikte. The dog and the cat slept. Shunka ki anna igmuki ishtimapi. A magpie and a dragonfly flew by. Unkchekicha wan enna tu swecha wan gian hiayapi. We took the man and the woman back there. We chasha ki enna wianki awicha unkipi. He made a knife and a bow for himself. Mila wan enna itazipa wan ichache. I used a knife and an axe. Mila ki enna najunspe wan mu. Note that when the list nouns are plural, we commonly omit articles. Compare the two versions below. I bought some chairs and also some tables. Oakanke ea ena waglutapi ea o prewatru. I bought chairs and also tables. Oakanke na waglutapi o prewatru. She took some spices and some herbs. Pchaja ea ena pchejuta ea ichu. She took meat and herbs. Tchalo na pchejuta ichu. They gave me some customs and some money. Costumes. Wokoyake na mazaska makupi. We often add ko, also, to, including, after the last item on the list. They were selling hamburgers and bread. Khalo yukbampi na ahuyapi ko wiyo pcheyapi. They were selling hamburgers and bread. Khalo yukbampi ahuyapi ko wiyo pcheyapi. They came back bringing chairs and tables and also forks. Oakanke na waglutapi na wichapche ko aglipi. He provided himself with shoes and also food. Hampa na woyite ko igluha. That is what my mother and my father and also my grandmother taught me. Hechel ina na ate na unchi ko unspema kiapi. I don't have any travel provisions nor a knife either. Unweya na mila ko aniche. When The list items are non-specific. The articles wanji or etan are used only after the last item. Note that we can also use the word ko instead of an article. I'm going to buy a shirt and a belt and a hat. Ogale na ipiaka na waposhta wanji / ko o prewa trunkte. I am going to buy some shirts and belts and hats. Ogale na ipiaka na waposhta etan / ko o prewa trunkte. When the items are used with negative verbs, then the negative articles wanjini, dakuni, dueni are used only after the last item. But more commonly, we use ko instead of the negative articles. Note that naish or is used instead of na. Ogle naish waposhta wanjini / ko o prewa trunkdeshni. I am not going to buy a shirt or a hat. I am not going to buy any shirts or hats. Ogle naish waposhta dakuni / ko o prewa trunkdeshni. I didn't see any buffalo or elk. Pdech chaka na inch chaka dakuni / ko wanwicha blake shni. He will burn some sage and some cedar. Pcheji chota na chante etan / ko zilinkte. He will give you a horse and a saddle. Shunka wakan na chan wakin wanji / ko unichupikte. We won't give you a horse or a saddle. Shunka wakan na inch chan wakin wanjini / ko unichupikte shni. I will need some red and white beads. Psitro shasha na skaska etan / ko wachinkte. I will not need red or white beads. Psitro shasha na inch skaska dakuni / ko wachinkte shni. We often use na in concert with the postposition kichhí with him / her / it. Study the examples. A woman with a man came. Wiawan enna wichashawan kichhí he. They called out Peter and Robert. Peter enna Robert kichhí chaje wichayatapi. Those bells and whistles were tied to the flat poles. Chlachlaki hena enna shiot chankaki he. Kichhí we pipaha el iakashkapi. We normally use kichhí only in reference to people and animals, but in this structure, kichhí can be used with inanimate objects. Mark came with Tom. Mark and Tom kichhí he. A cat with a dog was lying there. Hail, igmuwa enna shunkawa kichhí bae. A young man with a young woman is coming here. Koshkalakawa enna we koshkalakawa kichhí u. A girl with her father stood up. We chinchalawa enna atkuku kichhí inaji. We often use kichhí without na in sentences where English uses n. Study the examples. My older sister and her husband came to see me. Chuwe higanaku kichhí wa mayang hipi. A man and a woman live there. Hail, wichasha wan wiawan kichhí tipi. An old man and an old woman raised me. Wichachala wan winuchala wan kichhí ichach mayapi. Compare the two sentences below and note how the meaning of the structure changes when the verb is singular. A cow and a calf came. Ptewiala wan ptejinchala wan kichhí upi. A cow came with a calf. Ptewiala wan ptejinchala wan kichhí u. Ironhawk and his grandfather filled a pipe with tobacco. Chetan maza trunkashitku kichhí opahipi. I sat down with my aunt. Tuin kichhí iblotaket. Ikto and Hakela started coming back. Ikto Hakela kichhí glichupi. He was sitting with his mother. Khunshitku kichhí yanke. He and his grandmother were sitting. Khunshitku kichhí yankapi.